Hey there, everybody. I'm here in the guest-centric office with Philippe Machaz, and we are here for the weekly Demand Channels podcast, where we talk about the best ways to get in front of your best guests and communicate with them so that whenever you have a demand that you have need dates in your schedule, you can reach out to them, you can make them good offers. And good offers are specifically what we're talking about today. Revenue is all about how many offers you're making to your market, to people that are open to what you have to offer. So we're going to talk about 3 different types of offers and how to be really savvy with them. And you had a story that you wanted to lead in to this episode with.
Okay, so this is, I think first of all, you really need to, before we go into that story, you really need to understand your market.
Mm-hmm.
You understand, and obviously looking at historical data, looking at pickup and seeing, okay, maybe during Comic-Con I should not do any promotions at all, right?
Mm-hmm.
I just need to push the price to the limit. Do you understand? So I think that's really important. And obviously the story I'm going to tell now, it's related from knowing the market. So I was talking with this e-commerce manager. He used to used to work at this hotel close to Soho in London. And his hotel was between the subway station and Soho, the nightlife neighborhood, equivalent to the Gaslamp here in San Diego, in central London. So people would go out on Saturday night or Friday night, and then obviously after a ton of pints, they would go like zigzagging to the subway station, and they would realize that, okay, I can't go home in this state. So they would stay at the hotel. So this, in obviously an opportunistic way, this revenue manager would keep always 4 or 5 rooms on hold, so he would not sell to any channel whatsoever, and he would wait for the rooms just to sell at 3 or 4 times the normal price.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously, in the end of the year, that will be a huge. It will have a good impact on the revenue.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's really interesting approach, especially if you are kind of cities like London or San Francisco, where you have these events that, I don't know, you can do whatever you want, right? Because you can just pump up your price to the limit. So if you know the events, if you know your region, if you know the events, if you have access to historical data, you can just plan your promotions and remove and add promotions based on the pickup and looking at the future. Okay.
And that brings up a really important point, is that every day is a different season for each hotel. And for that hotel, because they just happen to be between the metro and between the nightlife spot, they had a different pickup demand than a hotel that was maybe on the other side of the street, right?
Sure.
So that revenue manager
could not find the other hotel.
Right, they couldn't find the others. So that revenue manager understood the pickup dynamics, and that's what we're really talking about today. We're talking about 3 different types of offers: long stay, shopping cart abandonment, and social media offers. Can you tell us your experience with these 3 types of offers?
I think they are so obviously it really depends on your pickup. Do you understand? So let's look at specific events, and I think we've touched that. So Comic-Con. Why should I know that Comic-Con will pack San Diego, especially downtown San Diego. So why should I do a long? Do you understand? A long stay promotion you could, do you understand? But a Facebook promotion like that, maybe I should not do that. Do you understand?
Mm-hmm.
So again, I think it's related. It's related with any kind of promotions, right? I don't know if you have any ideas that are a little bit different, but like long stays, I think they could be thing in hotels where you have average daily stays very small. Like we have a couple of hotels in city centers, especially in European cities, that there's a lot of weekends, so people just go to another country to spend the weekend. So I'm living in London. I would pick the train or the flight to go to Paris to spend the weekend. So obviously during the week they have it's kind of like challenging. So a long stay promotion in let's say Paris or Lisbon or Madrid or Barcelona, it's maybe 4 days. You understand? Obviously a long stay promotion in Hawaii, and I was just talking with a client in Waikiki, their average daily stay is like 7 days. Because I don't know, I'm not going to fly 7 hours to spend the weekend, right? So you need to spend, or you will spend at least 7 days. So a long stay promotion in Waikiki, it's maybe, I don't know, 10 days. You understand? So first you need to understand your average daily stay and try to understand what's the impact of people staying longer at your hotel. You understand? And I think that's the first point with the long stays. Obviously, it's not just about, it's looking at the cost, right? So what's the cost just to clean up the room from scratch? What's the cost? There's costs associated with, so I think it's really wise just to try to get those promotions in, right? Because the cost of just cleaning the room, it's and you learn that in revenue management. It's less than the cost of cleaning the
resetting
room.
The room. Okay. And what about the
same? Sorry, in places like I have clients in that have hotels that are open during the winter, let's say in the coast of Maine. Obviously, they talk about just eating the hotel. Like the first day, the eating, it's super expensive.
I'm sure, yeah, it's Maine.
Do you understand? So in Maine, coastal Maine, like super tough climate. So those are like the things that you need to have in consideration just to build these promotions. Obviously, if I'm going to have someone staying with me like 3 or 4 nights, maybe it makes sense to turn on the heater. If it's 1 night, imagine the cost. Like you will not pay for the cost of the room.
That's so true. Yeah, the variable costs, especially in Maine. Oh my gosh. Yeah. All right. So those are considerations for low demand days. What about packages for high demand days? What do you recommend when they know they're going to sell out so that they can maximize revenues?
So I don't know. Do you have any idea? Give me an idea. So
some close to arrival promotions.
Sure, obviously. Yeah. So you are, and this is the Comic-Con example, right? So you know that you are. So the event is for 3 days. I remember once I traveled to Berlin to attend the ITV. It's one of the biggest, I think, if not the big, it's one of the biggest trade shows in the world related with the hotel industry, and they close to departure, so you need to book. You need to book the 4 days of the event because they know that's going to fully book. So
they wouldn't let you go.
Yeah, they don't. Okay, I want to leave early one night because I want to whatever. Because no. If you want to book, you need to book. You need to book the full. The full
Monty.
Like just you eat the full pie or you don't eat anything, right? Right. So it's so obviously those restrictions close to arrival, close to departure. It's super, and also close to arrival, like during the weekend. So we have a lot of small little independent hotels. We have hotels in the middle of nowhere, so they want to, and they have like maybe 10, 15 rooms. They want to make sure. If people go, they want to make sure there's a minimum stay for 2 nights. And normally they close to departure on Saturday, or they close to arrival on Saturday, so they force people just to book the full weekend. Okay. So I think that's a good measure. So those are like, that's why it exists, the close to arrival and close to departure.
And can you talk a little bit about the shopping cart abandonment technique that works with your technology? You said that has a 10% lift in conversions.
Sure.
But then people also need to be careful a little bit, right? If it's too powerful.
Yeah. So it could be. It could kind of like you could shoot yourself in the foot, right? So so obviously you should close it for some specific dates. Again, Comic-Con, it's a good example. So if you are trying to bring more revenue to the table in a day or a week or whatever, a couple of days that you know that you are going to be fully booked, no questions asked. Why should you give a percentage off to someone just to recover them? You understand? Obviously, there's a fact there of the distribution of the OTAs, right? Because you're still selling through the OTAs. And if you give a kickback to someone who books directly, it's still a valid thing, right? Yeah, because if you give, you'll get 5% if you book direct through our website. You still get, I don't know, if you're paying 15-18% to Booking.com, maybe the same to Expedia, you still gain 12-13%.
That's a good point. So that would be one of the last channels that you close.
Sure, obviously. And I work with some clients who, especially who are now they are super confident. It's this. I think this looking at the way, and this goes back to the way you compete with the OTAs. So if you really want to compete with the OTAs, you need to understand how they work. You understand? And we have a couple of clients who are really committed to learn how the OTAs work. So they monitor their reservations. They try to understand, and then they cut them, right? So they say, hey, what's the point? Like Comic-Con, why should I sell through Expedia?
Yeah, high demand,
just
high pickup.
Right? Yeah. So, but it's a bold move, right? Not every hotel is prepared to do that. But we are pushing some hotels to do that, and when they do, they feel like it's like this kid who's they feel like. So it's all about and obviously Expedia. So Expedia and Booking.com, they have like a few years in advance, right? So they're like far
some
from some experience. Yeah. So it's really tough to explain clients that they can be bold, especially if they have a good product, right? So if they have a good product, the consumer will find them.
Yeah.
So if they have a very good product, if the price is right, if they have the 18 or 20% margin to give back to the client, if they advertise that, forget, they'll get direct. Especially obviously if it's slow season, everyone needs an OTA. But if it's high season, in one of the, I don't know, in New York City, why would you need an OTA? If the city is packed in San Francisco in the summer, limited availability, right?
San Francisco has like plus 20% ADR,
sure,
like just past month. Like
it's
my gosh, right?
Yeah, it's so I remember once I paid for like a super budget motel in San Francisco. I paid $300 a night, and I was like, oh my gosh! And it was only one room, one hotel. Obviously, it was the worst room in San Francisco.
It's the last one we got.
Yeah, so I don't care. And he was not even concerned because he knew that he was going to sell the room. Like he was doing it as a favor,
right?
and my wife told him, I stayed in the Four Seasons and I paid less than I'm paying for this room, and you are paying. Yeah, this should not be like this.
Well,
so obviously
that goes to show.
So obviously there's you still obviously you need to be honest about
no gouging.
Selling,
no gouging.
But you can play with demand, and I think you should optimize your channels. And if you do it right, you can. And if you really have visibility on the pickup dates of the OTAs, you can say, hey. And I was just talking with a client in May. It's also a small little boutique inn. And and she told me, like, why should I have, and she's afraid to close during August. She knows, like, I'm going to, even even if it's other inns that will call her because they have some overbooking or whatever, she knows that she's going to sell out.
Yeah.
But she's still afraid to close the OTA.
Okay. She's not even using any overbooking?
No, okay. She's not. She only has 8 rooms, so it's really scary.
Some people cancel.
I know, and we know, and that's another point, and it's good when you look at pickup, you know. And I was just reviewing the numbers of an hotel in Waikiki, kind of like a medium hotel, 170 rooms, and even though we know, so they are far away from direct bookings, not far, but you can see a gap. We know that in time, that gap will close. And that's exactly, and we can see that on average, Booking.com, I don't know, cancels maybe 14-50% of the reservations. Because their marketing message really pushed to, okay, we found a better deal for you, like, just cancel, just whatever. Expedia does a better job, so they kind of, but even though they, I don't know, the last numbers of this hotel that I've seen, they cancel maybe 25% of the reservations. And then you go to the booking engine and people cancel maybe 5%.
Right, and if you're closing down your channels so that you're pushing people towards direct, every time somebody cancels, it's like, woohoo!
Exactly.
Now you know you're going to replace it with a much more valuable booking.
Sure.
Yeah.
So
any last words on being organized and having different types of promotions ready for different situations?
I think you really need to be organized and on a monthly base. And obviously we do that to our clients who sign our agency services with us, but you need to take some time and put all your data into a spreadsheet, you understand? So every month you select a couple, and we can talk about what would be some KPIs that we normally look, but you can select a couple of KPIs. ADR, percentage of people who go to the booking engine, visits to the website, I don't know, maybe 10 values. And then if you monitor them every month, you start understanding the traffic. And then you can you can create a pickup graphic, so you see what all the months are filling up. And then play with promotions and trying to see, okay, maybe it makes sense to create a promotion for this specific date to on a direct channel because Expedia is becoming too powerful. In a sense, so trying to play with that a little bit.
Perfect. If people want to see examples of that, can you show some kind of like
I'm always
aggregates?
Like, those are my demos. Normally, I like to show and real examples. So I don't do theoretical demos. I just go and deep dive into examples. So I'm much more comfortable with examples than just showing PowerPoints. So just call me, email me at Philippe, FILIP@guestcentric.com, and then we can go in deep dive. And again, it's not about the right formula. You need to keep it. So it's more complicated because you need to keep adjusting the formula month by month because every month is different.
Every season.
So it's really important to look at historical data and compare with maybe the last month. Like, okay, let's compare this quarter with last quarter of last year. You understand? Because obviously the demand will play a little bit the same. But you need to just tweak things out, not just at the booking engine level, but also at the website level, so you can try to push more people into the funnel and do maybe some A/B tests. So that's a little bit more intense, but you can do some A/B testing. There's so many things that you could do, but it's a process, and we are trying to. And I'm working on trying to get this kind of organized, like a formula, and look at this
scientific savvy.
Yeah, trying to create, because hotels we really need to output this to compete with the OTAs, because the OTAs really invest and hire the most billion.
Yeah, here's $1 billion.
Yeah, they go to top Ivy League universities and they hire the best mathematicians, the best psychologists, and now we are facing. You understand? It's tough.
Yeah.
And then they go and buy data from Facebook, and they go and buy data
from the airlines,
and from Google.
Uh-huh.
So they have money, so they can look at patterns. And we are obviously we have something really valuable. And I think I don't see hotels doing that. They have the clients who actually go, so you can actually meet the clients in person and try to understand from them. And I think that's valuable. And obviously, the OTAs don't have that value.
Yes. Well, thanks so much for your time. As always, I really appreciate your points of view. And please leave your comments below the video, and we'll shoot you right back. Okay. So, thanks so much.
Bye.
Talk to you later.
Thank you.